Good morning. Welcome back to the Red Mic. Happy Monday. I'm glad you're here. Last week, the world of sports and the world of leadership lost one of the great voices to walk in both of those worlds, Lou Holtz. Now, Lou Holtz is remembered by a lot of people as the coach who led the Notre Dame Fighting Irish to a national championship in 1988. But if you talk to people who actually knew him, people who actually played for him, they rarely start with the trophy. They start with the questions. Lou Holtz believed leadership could be boiled down to 4 questions every person should ask themselves before they go to bed at night. Not once in their life, not once in a year, every day. A friend of mine heard those questions, a guy named Pat Fallon. He's now a congressman, but before he was a congressman, he was, as he would tell you himself, he was a largely bench riding defensive back and special teams player at Notre Dame. He wasn't the star, and he'll tell you that. He has a lot of humility about his time at Notre Dame, but a lot of respect for Lou Holtz. But he did play on the collegiate level. I didn't come close after high school. I think people like me, people like Pat, we absorb those lessons because we're looking for anything and everything to try to make it to that next step. Holtz told his players that success comes down to 4 simple questions. The first question, did you do your best? Of course, your 40-yard dash time was important, but more important than that to Lou Holtz, he cared deeply about your effort and your attempt to get better. Talent is unevenly distributed. Opportunity is unevenly distributed, but effort doesn't have to be. When people say they want success, but they're not willing to give their best effort every day, what they really want is the appearance of success without the cost of discipline. And from all accounts, Holtz had no patience for that. The second question, did you do what was right? This one separates leaders from opportunists. It's easy to do the right thing when it's popular. It's easy to do the right thing when it costs you nothing. The real test comes when doing the right thing costs you playing time, popularity, money, or convenience. Holtz believed that talent could win games, but character was what built teams that lasted. His third question, did you treat people the way that you wanted to be treated? Locker rooms are they're tough places. Big personalities, strong opinions, physical competition. Holtz insisted on respect, not just for the starters, not just for the stars, but for the trainers, the equipment staff, the walk-ons, the janitors, the student managers. Because if you can't treat the people around you with dignity when they don't have power, they're not ready to lead when they get any of it. And then finally, his fourth question, did you make the team better? And see, that's the important one to me, because every day, whether we realize it or not, we're doing one of 3 things. We're either making the team better, we're making it worse, or we're doing nothing of any import whatsoever. In most organizations, doing nothing quietly becomes the same thing as making it worse, though. Lou Holtz believed that every person in a locker room had a job. Not everybody was going to score the touchdown, obviously, but everyone could help build the culture. Even the bench warmers, maybe especially the bench warmers, because culture isn't built by the star players on Saturday. It's built by the people who show up on Tuesday when no one's really watching or paying attention. So these 4 questions, they're simple. Did you do what's best? Did you do what was right? Did you treat people right? Did you make the team better? If you can answer yes to those questions honestly, you don't need a complicated leadership manual. You just need the discipline to keep showing up tomorrow and doing it again. So, today's Red Mic message lesson. Effort is the one advantage available to everybody. Character matters most when it costs you something. Respect is the foundation of leadership, and the real measure of success is whether the people around you are better because you were there. Pretty simple. And that's today's Red Mic message. Hope you found it interesting or helpful. As cradle Catholic. It's almost ingrained in my DNA to be a Notre Dame fan. Even with that or without that, I always thought the world of Lou Holtz. He seemed both wise, but also kind of cantankerous, but he always had sort of a grin behind those eyes, like he was in on the joke that he was about to tell you about. Seemed like a really decent guy, and from all accounts, from people who know him personally, like Pat Fallon, he definitely was the kind of person that you would run through a wall for. So raise a glass to Lou Holtz this morning. On another note, you may remember last week for hashtag Fun Friday, I talked about a good kind of cancellation. Well, tomorrow I'm going to talk about the other kinds, the kinds that just hit you in the gut and don't stop. And a historical lesson going back more than half a decade that maybe we need to dust off and pay attention to again. So I love you guys. Happy Monday. I'll see you again tomorrow. And until next time, don't forget, life is short. Drink the bourbon. I'll see you.